Members of the Senate, I want to walk you through this for a little while, but I want to make sure that you understand why we're here. The 2018 Federal Farm Bill changed federal law, allowing hemp to be grown and hemp THC-derived products are now legal. Because of that, what we have seen is a proliferation of drinks, gummies, oils, smokables, you name it. If you'll stop at a convenience station on your way home today, it is likely that you can buy just about any of that. You can certainly buy gummies, you can certainly buy THC beverages, 100 milligrams, 50 milligrams more. But you can also buy cigarettes made of this. We were handed up cigarettes during our subcommittee meetings on this subject. Basically, South Carolina has become the wild, wild west of THC products. These products can be dangerous if left unregulated in South Carolina. We have children, because there is no age restriction, we have children. We had testimony of a 14-year-old purchasing these products. There is no age limit. There is no way to stop it from happening in South Carolina unless we choose to regulate or ban this product. I'm going to walk through the committee amendment, and I'm going to tell you what this bill does. Amendment number 1 on the desk behind this is an amendment to ban all THC products. If you believe that THC products should be banned in South Carolina, you're going to get that opportunity. I'll tell you you're going to get that opportunity the minute that I quit talking or the minute you quit asking questions. No encouragement there, but we all can see it. I'm happy to sit here and talk about THC and how this committee chose to regulate it. Our committee was tasked with the regulation of THC, and I believe we did just that. Let me tell you what this does. We defined synthetic cannabis products. Hemp, we used the definition from the big, beautiful bill back and from November of 2025. Hemp products, hemp cannabinoid products, and psychoactive reactions. We say that SLED can seize contraband, things that don't qualify under this definition. We also say that CBD, and there is a difference between THC and CBD, that CBD does not have a psychoactive reaction, and therefore it is not restricted. We place all of these products in the current 3-tier system. Now, why do you do that? The current 3-tier system has a clear method to track manufacturing, wholesaling, and the retail end. There is clear that SLED has enforcement, that the Department of Revenue has the ability to step in and audit and enforce, and that we can collect taxes. So that is exactly what we did. If you think to how we handle things currently, if you look at Title 61, Chapter 4, it deals with beer and wine. Chapter 6 of that same title deals with liquor. And hemp is going to be folded into Chapter 14. But parts of these hemp-derived beverages, these THC beverages, are going to be classified more as beer and wine, while others will be classified more as liquor. We are allowing up to 5 milligrams per serving in a 12-ounce can. So that is one serving, 12-ounce can, up to 5 milligrams. That will be allowed to be sold at any retail store. That is grocery stores, that is a convenience store, that is your gas station. Those beverages would be there. If you have been to those places, they're already there. Publix, Lowe's are currently selling this. Most gas stations in South Carolina are currently selling this. Sphinx is certainly selling this. We then create a second category. A 10 milligram serving, 12 ounce can, and again, that's a one single serving 10 milligram can, and then a 750 milliliter bottle that has a maximum of 17 servings at 10 milligrams per serving. Those will be sold at liquor stores. Those two things have been again folded into our system. We redefined alcoholic liquors and alcoholic beverages to include those definitions. We are outlawing Delta 8 and Delta 10. Any non-natural derived product from hemp would be outlawed under this bill. These synthetics, the 8s and the 10s, based on all of the testimony we received, and we had 4 or 5 hearings on this issue, began in the fall, went into January and early February. Not a single person testified that I recall that Delta 8 or Delta 10 should be legal in South Carolina. To a person, they said those things should be outlawed and that we should only allow naturally derived Delta 9 products. If you are found guilty of selling to someone under age 21 under a first offense, it's going to be a misdemeanor, not more than 2 years or more than $5,000. Second offense is a 3-year felony, not more than 5 or more than $10,000. And a third offense is a 3-year period, within a 3-year period is a felony, 5 years, $10,000. But we also said you're going to lose your license, not just to sell hemp, but to sell beer, wine, or liquor. It's a total loss of all licenses. Signage is going to be required. If you're selling these THC products, the signs will have to clearly say these are THC products to make it clearly definable that you are having something that is different. You're not going to be allowed to have open container, drive, boat, fly a plane while under the influence. Literally, it's the same things as beer, wine, and liquor. We folded it into those chapters. Sales are going to be prohibited on Sundays, Christmas days, and any day proclaimed by a governor. There was a lot of talk about, well, what if we have Sunday alcohol sales in our county? Well, most of your Sunday alcohol sales referendums said beer and wine. They didn't say hemp products. So we have said that if you're going to sell it on Sundays, you'll have to have a referendum in your county to do so. Otherwise, these products will not be sold on a Sunday. We are not allowing in this amendment on-premise sales. Many of you, especially depending on where you live and where I live, up and around the Charlotte area, you go to a restaurant, it's on every menu. I rarely walk into a Mexican restaurant where I think they call them caloritas, California margaritas, that made with a THC drink. They're on every menu where I'm at. I am sure they are in some of the other areas, especially along the coast as well. That will change. We will not allow them in on premise. And I believe that there at some point will be amendments to talk about allowing that, but I'm going to say this. This is different. And I think we all need to understand this is different. If you are drinking alcohol, beer, wine, liquor, and you're at a restaurant and you choose to eat a meal, the more fat that meal has, the more likely it is to be able to absorb the alcohol. Carbs do just the opposite, but the fats help soak up the alcohol. You can eat whatever you want after drinking one of these THC drinks. It's not going to change the way your body metabolizes this. Your body is not metabolizing this. This goes to your brain in about a 25, 35-minute time period and blocks certain receptors in your brain. That is what gives you a feeling of euphoria. That is what relaxes you. That is what alters your mood in some manner. It is different. SLED testified and was very clear that they do not support on-premise sales. They do not support THC by the drink. We're going to require that packaging have a certificate of analysis. So there'll be a QR code on every can and on every bottle that you'll be able to scan, and it will tell you, it's going to tell you the total amount of THC, CBD, other detectable cannabinoids, terpene profiles, and chemical contaminants. It is an exhaustive list of things that are on it. And as we go through this debate over the next few days, we'll do some handouts so you can see exactly what that COA looks like. It's going to prohibit packaging that includes cartoon characters or was modeled after products primarily consumed by children. This is not going to resemble a Sunkist or an orange soda. This is going to be clearly what it is, a THC drink. From a tax standpoint, the hemp cannabinoid beverages, 5 milligram, 12-ounce can, they're going to be taxed like beer. The ones at the greater than 5 milligrams in a single serving can and in the bottles are going to be taxed like liquor. And there will be an additional 11% excise tax collected to fund programs under Title 61, Chapter 12. Since it's not being allowed in restaurants, that revenue would be lost, but we are adding that to it so that treatment centers can still have the funding for this. There is a safe harbor provision built in that's going to allow, if you have we pass this bill, somebody's going to be sitting on a tremendous amount of stock and merchandise. There are stores everywhere selling these various products. We're going to give them until November 12th of this year they cannot purchase new products to restock, but they'll have until that time frame to get all of that stuff off their shelves. If not, there was concerns that it would be a taking and that we would have court challenges to it. We also say that you're going to have to declare, much like in the current three-tier system, what you are. Are you the retailer, wholesaler, or the manufacturer? You can't be two of the three. You can only be one. We do that same thing for beer, wine, and liquor. We don't allow the ultimate retailer to also be the manufacturer. Well, we've carved out some, but for the most part, we don't allow that. There are known restaurants in South Carolina who own large percentages of the manufacturers of these drinks. And they did that when these manufacturers were startup companies. They went out, looked for capital. That capital came from the people who would sell it. We're going to make them divest themselves of that over I believe it's a 1-year period. No, excuse me, it's a 2-year period from the effectiveness of this law. There is another section in the continuing resolution this past year. The federal government changed the definition of hemp and THC. They raised or they lowered the concentration. There is, and then they set it out for a year out to November 12th of 2026. That change under the continuing resolution was done primarily, from what we understand, to force the federal government to act, force Congress to do something, set age limits, set whatever requirements they're going to set. all of the feedback we have received is that the federal government is going to do nothing. The federal government's going to kick this can down the road this year, probably next year, and most likely the year after that. That the federal government's not going to enter into this space. We added a specific provision that says if the federal government exercises its right to regulate these beverages, either through prohibition or regulation, then the allowable THC concentration will be the lesser of the federally defined THC level. That's not more than 3/10. Basically what we're doing is saying if the federal government says, no, we're okay with 0.5 now, we're not going to be okay with that. We're going to be at 0.3. If the government comes back at 0.2, we're now moving to 0.2. We're going to stay at 0.3. We are not going to allow the federal government to define that part of this. In a very short nutshell, that is what this bill does. I can't stress to you how important it is we do something. I can't. There are 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds, there are people buying this who should not. There are products that are sold as 50 milligrams, but if you really read the fine print, it says in a 12-ounce can on our shelves, but if you really read it, it says 50 milligrams per serving, and there's 12 servings in a can. No one picks up a 12-ounce can, has a sip, and calls that a day. No one even thinks to do that. We have to regulate this, or we have to outlaw it. We have to change where this is. We cannot allow this to stay the way it is. And I hope that over today and the next few days, this body will make those decisions and we can step up to the plate and either ban this product completely or regulate it like it should be.